to another of Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. We have been waiting for you because today Cosette has picked out 2 stories to share with us. Are you ready to go on an enchanted journey with us and hear some great stories and then go do something fun together? I hope so, because we're ready. Let's rub our hands together and say the magic words. I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we go. And welcome again, friends, for another story. Actually, today I have 2 stories to share with you. I have The Good Egg and The Deep Blue Sea. Because they're a little bit on the shorter side, I thought we could fit 2 in today. So we're going to start with How About the Good Egg by Jory John. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, hello. I was just rescuing this cat. Know why? Because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. It's true, I do all kinds of good things, like I'll carry your groceries, I'll water your plants, I'll change your tires, I'll paint your house. If you need any help whatsoever, I'm your egg. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start, even in my earliest days back at the store. There were a dozen of us living together under one recycled roof. There was Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank. The other 11 eggs weren't on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. They ignored their bedtime. They only ate sugary cereal. They threw tantrums. They cried for no reason. They broke their stuff on purpose. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace because I was a good egg. A very good egg. Nobody seemed to care, though. Every night I was exhausted. My head felt scrambled. Then one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. They were everywhere. My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself, the pressure of making sure everybody was as good as me. I was cracking up, literally. Something had to change. I'd had enough. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelley and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank that I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in a bad carton, I said. Blah, 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 they replied. I left that night. I wandered from town to town. The hours became days, the days became weeks. I lost track of time. I was alone. Out there on the road, under the stars, I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. I took walks, I read books, I floated in the river, I wrote in my journal. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in, I breathed out. I even started painting. For once, I found time for me. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my shell started to heal. My head no longer felt scrambled. I started to feel like myself again. So I've made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. This time, I know what I need to do. I'll try not to worry so much. I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. Here we go. Everybody missed me. I missed them too. Hello, Meg. Howdy, Peg. Hey, Greg. Greetings, Clegg. What's up, Shell? Aloha, Shelly. Heyo, Sheldon. Hi, Shelby. Good day, Egbert. What's happening, Frank? Howdy do, other Frank. Sure, every once in a while somebody's still a little bit bad, but it's not like before. Here's what I realized. The other eggs aren't perfect, and I don't have to be either. I'm okay with that. Yep, the old carton is back together. We're a solid dozen again. It's good to be home. The end. So that was The Good Egg, and now we're going to read The Deep Blue Sea, a book of colors by Audrey Wood. I hope that you enjoy this. There's the sea, the deep blue sea. There's a rock, a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a tree, a green tree on the red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a nut, a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a purple parrot on a brown nut on a green tree on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a butterfly, an orange butterfly on a purple parrot, on a brown nut, on a green tree, on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. There's a spot, a black spot on an orange butterfly, on a purple parrot, on a brown nut, on a green tree, on a red rock in the middle of the deep blue sea. And over them all shines the big yellow sun, until a little white cloud turns dark and gray, which makes the fishies come up to play. Then all the little fishies sing fiddle-dee-dee, it's raining on the rock in the middle of the sea. The end. Did you enjoy the story of the Deep Blue Sea, A Book of Colors, and The Good Egg? Something I noticed about both of these books, in addition to rhyming and being a lot of fun. No. Did you enjoy the story of the Deep Blue Sea? And how about The Good Egg? I really enjoyed them. And something I picked up from both of these books is some painting. In this one, there was all kinds of colors, obviously. We've got yellow and black and orange and purple and green and red and blue, and I'm probably missing some other ones in there, brown and green. Those were all in there too. And in this one, when he was getting all cracked up, he decided that he needed to take some time for himself, and he decided he liked to paint. So for today's activity, I thought it might be fun for us to do a little painting. And because this book featured a red rock, I thought, why don't we paint a rock together? Have you ever painted rocks? You might see them in your community sometimes. People write things of like, be happy, have a good day, howdy do, stuff like that on painted rocks. So if you want to paint a message on your rock, you can, or you can paint a picture on a rock, whatever you decide. But why don't you go grab a rock or a brick, something you can paint on, some paint and some paint brushes, and let's go do that together. How does that sound? Ready to go? Let's go. We're going to need some good-sized rocks that we want to decorate. This little spot here in my hostas is a great place to grab some rocks from, and when I'm done painting them, I can put them right back. After you have gathered as many rocks as you would like to paint, the next step is just to clean them off a bit. Wash any other dirt and grit off, and then we're going to dry them before we paint them. My kitty cat Birdie is always around to help me with my projects. Once you have cleaned off your rocks thoroughly, you just want to give them a good dry. You can pat them on paper towels like this. Now that your rocks are clean and dry, the next thing you want to do is gather up some paint and some paint brushes and get ready to start decorating your rocks. The next thing is you want to decide which surface of your rock you're going to paint. I think I'm going to paint this front surface with my image. But I'm going to paint the whole thing as well, just to give it a nice solid base color, and I'm going to do that with black. Now with this art project, like other art projects, we are going to have to be patient and let some of the surface area dry before we finish painting. Otherwise, we're just going to end up painting our fingers. So I'm just going to set my rock down and let some of this start to dry before I continue to paint anymore. While you're waiting for a surface to dry on one rock you're working on, you begin working on another one and preparing it for whatever pattern you're going to want to do. I've decided on this one I want to make a dragonfly, but first I'm going to paint the background, I think yellow, because that's a nice sunny color for my dragonfly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do like I did before. I'm going to paint most of the rock and then let it dry, and I'll come back and finish it. I'm using different paint brushes for these rocks since I know I got to go back and paint them more, and then I don't have to clean that brush and I can use it again. Okay, I think this one I'm going to make orange and put a sunshine on this one. So I'm just going to grab a paintbrush and paint this one orange. You're going to continue to paint each of your rocks with a solid base color if you'd like to do it the way I did it. While they're drying, you can move on to another rock and just continue this till you have the solid color that you'd like underneath before beginning your picture or words. Once your rocks are dry, you'll know they're dry because they won't be so shiny. See, this area is over here is shiny still. That's still wet paint. So I got to let that dry a little bit more. But when this is dry, you can begin to paint anything you'd like on your rock. So I'm going to give this a few more minutes to dry up, and I'm going to check my other rocks in the meantime. This bottom part is still a little wet, but I'm gonna call that the bottom of the rock. So the front surface that I wanna paint is dry enough that I can begin doing some sort of picture or words on that one. So that's the one I'll start with. So to do my rocks, I'm gonna use a combination of marker and paint to decorate them. This one I decided to, I saw this idea where somebody made a clock. So I'm just drawing with my Sharpie marker a circle for a clock face. Now you don't have to write anything on your rock, you can just make pictures. Do this however you like. I like this one because, as I tell you, a lot of the times when we're doing our projects, we have to be patient, let things dry, do these sort of projects in multi-steps. When we make these great things, they take time, don't they? Okay, so here's what I've got so far. Great things take time. And I've got to let this white dry a little bit more because it's still kind of green under there, so I've got to wait on that one. While I'm waiting on that, I can see if any of my other rocks are ready for painting. All right, I've waited a little while until I was completely sure that my rock was good and dry. Now I'm just going to use a paintbrush to make a rainbow on my rock. And with this nice dark black background, I might have to go over the colors a couple of times to make them really dark. So I'm gonna do just one layer of the red and then I'll come back and do more. So this painting rocks project is not something you're gonna rush. You're gonna take your time painting and you're gonna have to let things dry and come back to it. So it's another one of these projects where you just gotta be patient. What can we use rocks for? Rocks can make good paperweights on desks. They can be good door stops, so you don't have to only put them outside either. You can get creative on where you put your rock. Okay, so while my black rock with my rainbow is drying, I'm going to put a dragonfly on my yellow rock. And the only trick with these, again, is just making sure the paint is dry before adding more paint so that you don't mess up the colors. While we're waiting for the dragonfly to dry, on this one, I was going to make a big sunshine. I think the trickiest part is just deciding where you want to put stuff. I'm gonna put my sunshine right on top, I guess. Oh, or maybe on the side. I'll put the sunshine here. And my sunshine's kind of flower looking. That's okay, I don't mind. And up here, maybe I'll just write, there we go. I'm gonna write, "You are my sunshine," and I'll work on some sunshiny details on this once this dries a little bit more. And on my blue rock, I think what I'm gonna do is make a bee and write "Be Happy." So I'm gonna write bee with 2 E's, like the bee animal. And down here we'll put happy. Leave space for a bee. I like using marker and paint for these. The marker helps with the drawing and designing part of the rock, and then you can use the paint to fill it in. So this method might work really well for you too. And the bumpier your rock is, a little trickier it's going to be to paint and to write, but I'm sure if you try hard you can do it. And just have fun with whatever you decide to do. Use my yellow again. I'm going to fill all of him in for now, and then I'll use black to do details. And again, you just want to give your rocks, your art time to dry before continuing to add details. My green rock, that I started with. Great things take time. It looks pretty dry. I might be able to add my clock face soon, or any other details I might want to add. All right, when your rocks are dry, you'll be all done. There's my Be Happy, and I've got Great Things Take Time. And over here, I have my dragonfly. I've got my rainbow. You see some of them are still a little shiny. They're still drying, so I'm gonna let those dry completely before I take them outside. And I have You Are My Sunshine. I think I'm gonna add some sunglasses and a smiley face once this one's a little bit more dry. But that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed painting rocks with me and had fun coming up with your own friendly rocks or messages, kindness rocks, whatever you want to call them. And you got some good ideas for things that you can make going forward. This is something you can do anytime you like. All you have to do is grab a rock right out of the yard and some paint and a paintbrush, maybe some markers, and away you go. And it's a lot of fun to do. I hope that you enjoyed it. Are you ready to head back to the magic lamp with me and say goodbye to Cosette? All right, let's go. Welcome back to the magic lamp, friends. I hope that you had a great time going on an enchanted journey with us today to read Good Egg and to also read about the deep blue sea. Did you enjoy painting rocks with us? That's a fun activity that you can do any time of year. And when you're finished with the rocks, you can put them outside around your house or in your garden. You can give them to a friend, or you can leave them in special places in your community, like a kindness rocks garden or outside of your local library. People love to see inspirational sayings on rocks and to see that somebody out there is thinking of them and wishing happiness in the world. I certainly love that. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're going to come back and see Cosette and me again really soon. Until we see you, take great care of yourself, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.